Hello, everybody, and welcome to a presentation of a course that's going to be taught this spring with the Erasmus Academy. It's called Third Semester Latin, Reading Pliny's Letters. And we have with us today um, Sierra, who's going to be taking the course and also describing something about the course based on her experience with taking the intensive Latin course last summer or this past summer with Ben. Sierra, you just want to say hello?
Hello, everyone. I'm Sierra, and I took the course over the summer, and that's where I met Dr. DeSchmidt. And so I would like to, kind of tell you my experiences and a little bit about my background real quick is I have a degree in ancient history, and I had taken Latin as an undergrad and then decided after a hiatus to go back to apply to graduate school and within the classics department. And so I wanted a refresher course on Latin, and that is why I ended up taking the summer intensive.
Great. Okay. Well, and so what I've asked Sierra to do for you tonight is to say something about what she anticipates the course will be like, this spring course, which is a third semester Latin course based on students having completed the first year of college Latin instruction. And so based on the 8-week intensive course that she took just this past summer with Ben, with the same teacher who's going to be giving this the course on reading Pliny's letters. So, and she's also going to be a preceptor in that, so she has a good idea of how the course is going to be structured and what the advantages will be. So it's going to be a really exciting time for those of you who are interested in advancing your reading skills and understanding the sort of the cultural background of this letter. So I'm going to uh, I'm going to mute out and just close my webcam, and I'll let you take over, Sierra.
Okay, great.
So here we go. Just hold on one second. Um, okay. So
All
so
right.
so
Thank you,
so so
Ron.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So I'll just begin. Again, I took the summer intensive Latin course this past spring and summer. It begins in May. And I had a great experience in the class. The textbook that we use is really instructive. It has a lot of actual translate or text to translate into Latin. So right from the beginning, you're using sentences and excerpts that are from the ancient Latin sources of Cicero or um, other writer, Catullus, a famous poet, and other people. And so it's a really quick glimpse into Roman society and that time period. And so it's very nice in that. Besides that, the rest of the textbook is nice on how it builds the grammar. And Professor DeSchmidt does a great job in taking you chapter by chapter through the textbook, and he has a very nice pace of knowing which chapters are a little bit more technically difficult. And so he'll maybe only do 1 or 2 chapters a week, and other chapters that are a little bit easier, like say a chapter on numbers, he'll maybe add that, and so you'll have 3 chapters a week. So he's really good with the pace of the class. At one point, we slowed down the pace because people were having a little bit of difficulty with some of the concepts that were coming up. And his style of teaching is mostly going through the text and the homework assignments. So you'll review the previous homework assignments that were assigned, going through the grammar and the nuances of each sentence and the reading passages. And he'll add a little bit of historical and information about society and Roman life also, or ancient world life. He has a very extensive knowledge in Greek culture as well. And then also in the with the language and the syntax, he's able to relate that to other languages, either more modern languages that evolved from Latin or other ancient languages like Greek that have similar aspects of grammar or syntax. Um, uh, as far as the rapport during class, usually most of the mics are muted during class, and Professor DeSchmidt is able to really get through the lesson quickly without a lot of side tangents from people. But there is a chat group that stays active throughout the course, so people are able to ask questions, and he is very responsive, and he answers all those questions in the chat as well. As far as the homework assignments and grading and, the assessment of how your progress is going through the course, he gives a lot of really good feedback and reads through all the assignments and corrects them. Or like I said, we also go over them in class, the next class period. And so you're able to really look at where you may have not really fully understood a concept or maybe had an error, and then you can ask him questions about that. Like, let's specifically go over this sentence, or why is this, in the pluperfect case instead of, the passive subjunctive, past tense or something. And so he's very approachable and very knowledgeable on all aspects of Latin that was covered in that course. And so as far as a intermediate Latin course that's more advanced, I'm really excited about this Pliny course because it's a nice way to also get a glimpse at Roman culture and administration of the empire. So some of the political, social, and economic aspects of the empire are also addressed in this, and it's a different form of writing. So you're not reading just a straight historical narrative. You're able to kind of get nuances into people's personality and insights in as a first person perspective. And as far as the level of Latin, I felt after taking the intensive, and then in this fall semester, I took a upper division Latin course for my degree program. I'm currently in a classics degree program, and I was able to pretty seamlessly go from the summer intensive into reading Julius Caesar and Marcus Cicero, and also we read Apuleius, who is one of the first novelists who wrote Metamorphoses, or also called The Golden Ass. And so again, I felt like anyone who's completed a one-year course in Latin should be able to transition into an intermediate Latin course such as this Pliny, 50 Letters of Pliny course, relatively seamlessly, but able to stretch your knowledge, and your vocabulary especially will become much broader, and that'll help in other areas as you recognize more English cognates of words and derivatives that exist from building your Latin vocabulary. And then as far as once you complete this course, I feel like any other intermediate Latin courses you would take, or upper division courses, or even graduate courses, you would be much more prepared to go into those courses with a stronger background in grammar and, like I said, vocabulary, and also more of a broader sense of the Roman culture and society, and so understanding nuances of language and topics that they bring up that are important to them, and would definitely be a result of taking this course.
Great. Wonderful. Great. Well, I'll just come back on again and join you again on the, let's see here. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Sierra. That was really a really nice introduction. And I just want to give you a little bit of information about the course itself as far as registering. You can go to the Erasmus Academy website and navigate through the courses, and you'll come to third semester Latin, Pliny's Letters, and from there you can download the course description, which is about 2.5 pages, and also the enrollment form. So that's the way you would do it. And there's a way to submit a deposit to reserve a place for the course, reserve a place for you in the course. And then the balance payment is due at a certain date, as you will see on the enrollment form. But we also have two early bird registration options. One is by December 20th for a course fee of $850. And then the next early bird option is January 12th. If you pay in full by that time, it's $950. And I do want to mention that the total course fee of $1050 is really about almost half of what you would pay for a normal college course, which is it's a regular semester course taking up 36 hours of instruction, live instruction. Typically, a semester course would be $1,800 to $2,500 for a typical college or university course. So we're offering it for $1050, and we can do that because we have low overhead and we also have such great teachers, which is really exciting. And I just want to add too that Sierra may not have mentioned this, but she's going to be a preceptor for the course. And so the course is going to be taught on Wednesdays from 6:15 to 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Sierra is going to be offering an hour on Tuesdays from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm sorry, it's 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 to 3 uh, o'clock her time. And Sierra, you want to just say something about what the advantage would be and this would be an option for those of you who are taking the course, enrolled in the course at no extra cost, to sit in on this the preceptor hour. So Sierra, you want to say just a few words about that, about what you would the benefit of getting some insights from you on the back, sort of the context and the background of the letters.
Yeah, sure. So I'm very interested in this time period. And like I said, my initial degree was in ancient history, but now I'm moving solely into the classical world and the ancient Mediterranean.
Great.
And so I have a pretty vast background in the historical aspects of the classical world, and also political, social, and economic um, aspects too, which has a lot to do with this textbook, but then also some of the everyday cultural and religious aspects as
Hmm.
well,
Hmm.
of ancient Roman society. And I work as a teaching assistant currently at UC Davis, where I am part of the classics department and work with the instructors there and the students. And I'm kind of a bridge between the lectures and the students, and I run discussion sections. And so
Hmm.
I'm really excited to be able to dive into this book and look at some of the other aspects of the time period and the nuances of imperial rule throughout the
Hmm.
Mediterranean that we see at this time. And so it's really fascinating.
Great. Well, Dr. Benda Schmidt is so good with grammar and syntax and working through translation issues, which is the foundation of the course, naturally. And Sierra will be teaching this preceptor hour the day before the course, and she'll actually set the context, the historical context, so you can really get an idea of how the letters function and who they're addressed to and the issues that are involved. So I think it's a really great combination. Those of you who are going to enroll, I would recommend, to sit in on her discussion there too. So, and will that be sort of a discussion format, Sierra, or how do you envision that?
Yeah, so I'll kind of have a topic, or a couple topics depending on what the readings are that week. So it'll coincide with the readings. So perhaps, I have the textbook here, and there's a translation on a Roman funeral.
Can you show us the
And so,
textbook?
oh yeah. And so here's a picture of it. Oh, there we go. And so yeah, it has a really nice scene of a Roman family life
Hmm.
on the
Hmm.
front. And so, perhaps that we're translating something on a Roman funeral, and so we can talk about some of the funerary rites of the ancient Romans and maybe some of the beliefs.
Hmm.
And I also study Mediterranean archaeology. So oftentimes what we find in the ancient world is we find much more things and learn much more about the people through the archaeological record
Hmm.
and what we've dug up and what we've excavated, and especially at places like Pompeii, that I know Professor Dittmar and I have talked about before, um, as just a snapshot of the ancient world. And so I really like to delve into what's going on in these letters that Pliny's talking about, and when he mentions things. Um, and also Emperor Trajan is who these letters are addressed to, and so I can give a historical background of Emperor Trajan. Um, he was one of the adopted emperors of the good emperors, and after some of the crazy ones in the earlier part of the early Principate time. And so just giving the historical background, and which is more of my specialty,
Yeah, sorry
and
for the interruption.
within Roman and ancient Mediterranean world, and even the region that he's in. And there's a whole history of wars between the Romans and the former king of Pontus, Mithridates the Sixth. And so it's really fascinating um, background to this becoming a Roman colony,
Great.
and all that kind of stuff. So I could talk for a while, but so again, the discussion sections will be based on what readings are assigned for that week or translations are assigned,
Great.
and then I'll kind of give you the context of those.
And you might bring up some images, architectural images, or whatever to get
Yeah,
people a feel of the period.
yeah, I really like to do like a PowerPoint slide presentation
Great.
that I go over so people can have more images and views, and even show the textbooks, or, there's a lot of these Roman people have sculptures of them, busts, of what they look like. And even though they kind of all look the same, once you start looking at them all, it's still interesting to get a visual of who this author is and who's talking, whose voice, and then Trajan as well
Yeah.
as one of the main emperors of that, did a lot for the Roman Empire.
Just looking at the cover of the book itself with an image on the front gives you just a tidbit of a feeling of what it's going to be like to sit in on Sierra's preceptor hour before the lesson on Wednesday, to get a real feel of what it's like being there. And we did exchange our impressions of being in Pompeii. I've been there twice, and Sierra has too. And we talked about the animals that are roaming around the ruins of Pompeii, and we had some interesting stories about dogs that followed us when we walked around when I was there with my daughters, and Sierra also has some interesting stories. But anyway, those really make things come alive about the history and the context and the just identifying with what is happening there. So, Sierra, thank you so much again for giving us an overview, first of all, your experiences with Dr. Ben de Schmidt in the last summer, and your preview of what people would expect to benefit from in the class that's coming up this spring. So we invite you to enroll. There is a very lenient refund policy also after if at the end of 2 weeks, if you decide it's not the right choice, the right fit for you or the course for you, then you can request a refund and everything is returned except the non refundable deposit. So it's a really great opportunity, and hope you have a chance to take the course and enjoy the precepting with Sierra. So thanks so much, Sarah. Appreciate your being a part of this, and all the best everyone, and hope you maybe explore this course. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.